Well, Kirsty, you had a week, 2 weeks off. What have the club done with it? A bit of rest, a bit of extra work?
Yeah, a bit of rest. You're always working and stuff, but the squad that we have and the effort that they put in all the time, I think when you get a chance to rest some lads during these it's not transfer windows, the international breaks, it's very, very important. So everyone had a different kind of programme. Some did a little bit more individual stuff, strengthening and stuff, someone's resting, someone's getting a bit more treatment, some total rest. So it's been brilliant, and especially after the Swansea game, it's a little bit more, joyous when the game finishes and you can kind of just say, okay, we had a programme of what we're going to do, but it vindicates. And then probably only Knighty was the one who was away playing for Ireland, and he did a lot of running, so we've got to make sure that he's okay.
Yeah, what I was going to ask about him is it's great that players can get those international minutes, and when you're playing teams like he's been up against, what an experience for him, but equally, does that give you, not concerns, but things to think about just in terms of making sure that you last him a whole season?
There's no doubt that it definitely has an effect on how you deal with him, even when he comes back or in the build-up to what he's doing, and then the medical team will be keeping in contact with their medical team to make sure everything's okay. We'll know all the distances that he's done. We've seen how much he likes to run. I looked at both Irish games and he did a lot of running in them as well. So yeah, you're just hoping that, you're always touching a bit of wood and hoping that he comes back uninjured and fresh enough to go. But he's a young lad as well, and he's desperate to play football, so he'll be looking forward to getting back out and wearing the Bristol City shirt on Saturday.
And the performances that he put in against some very strong opposition, that's, I'm sure that there's a lot of people patting him on the back and saying well done when he's come back in.
Yeah, and it's brilliant. He's a humble kid. He's a quiet kid. You got one of the match against Holland, and he's played so well in the game. But he's come back in. He's fit straight back in. We know he's a good player, and we think he's been a brilliant acquisition for us. But he's a great guy as well. So yeah, he didn't get carried away. He did quite well. Probably wasn't as happy with the results as he wanted to be when he was away. But he's come back and he's firing and ready to go. And today we're trying to calm him down. Just calm down and get ready for Saturday. No, it's good for him, and we want all the lads to strive to play international football. I think it's a huge honour to get the opportunity to play for your country and to play well. So you can't stop anybody going, and you can't tell them not to run as much, because all the family members are for anything are looking at the game, so you better run. But I just think for him it was brilliant to go away, and it's great he's come back unscathed.
And actually, the way he'd been playing for you guys so far this season, it just seems that he started well, but since he's sort of sat a little bit deeper and maybe not playing quite as high up the pitch, you seem to be getting a little bit more out of him. Is that the way you would look at it?
I think it's about relationships as well. I think it's him knowing the lads he's playing with. Pre-season's fantastic, but when I speak to the press, I talk about the pressures of a 3 o'clock on a Saturday or a 7:45 on a Tuesday night. It's not as relaxed. It's a bit harem scarum sometimes in the Championship. It's a real tough place to play. So the lads are getting used to him as well. He's getting used to us, and I think he's only going to get better. I think he's been great since he's come in. And yeah, we've adapted the shape. But again, we only adapt the shape to adapt the quality of the player and what we can get out of them and what helps the team the most. So we always laughed at it. You can say 4-3-3, but the different people you have in it will play it differently, and we have to play it. We have to play it that way and give our lads the best opportunity to do well. And if they're doing well and they're enjoying it, we'll do well as coaches, and we win the games, and then we start climbing the league.
So, squad-wise bodies for the weekend, is Andy close to getting back or involved?
No, he's back out on the grass and he's working, but after coming on and lasting 5 minutes, we've got to make sure he's okay. He's back out on the grass. He's working very, very hard as he always does, and we know that, and we look forward to getting back in. But he's not far away. Saturday, I think, will probably come a little bit too soon for him.
Okay, and in terms of the general bumps and bruises, and you had a pretty full squad other than the long-term injuries to choose from. Everybody else okay?
Yeah, everybody else is fine to go. Rob Atkinson was out in the grass today, I think, just having a touch of the ball, which was brilliant to see. Tommy's chomping at the bit. He's another one that you've got to kind of keep calm. But he's desperate to get back in. Eamon's out there on the grass, having a touch of the ball and stuff. So, But the lads that left at the international break were fine and they're refreshed and we're ready to go.
Okay. It's back at Ashton Gate, and it's going to be talked about until it finishes, isn't it?
Yes, I knew it was coming.
Because you played all of the away matches.
Yes.
You've been some degree of either really good to exceptional.
Yes.
And at home, other than the first round of the Cup,
Yes.
you haven't done yourself justice, have you?
No, we haven't done ourselves justice. I don't think we've been horrendous. I wouldn't say we've been horrendous. I don't think we've been clinical enough. At times we probably haven't moved the ball quick enough. Was it the Birmingham game where we had 64%? So I think of possession. So that's not a team that's really struggling. It's just a team that didn't use that possession well enough, and it's something that we've been talking about. And the lads are buoyant. We've played very well away from home, and we know it's come. We played a couple of games at home. When I came a couple of seasons ago, people were saying you're never going to win at home. You only win away. So it's something that we have to do. And we know we have to improve. Yous are the same as us. We're working hard and we're scratching our heads and we're striving to get that win. But Saturday gives us another brilliant opportunity to do that, coming off a great win, where I thought we played very, very well, and I thought we deserved the game, to win the game. I thought we created a lot of chances and we played with real vigour and energy. And I think probably real excitement at times. I think the fans would have liked it. I thought the fans were brilliant at Swansea, and no doubt they will be again. We can't be edgy at home. It's going to be there till we win the game. We need to win a game. That's fine, but we know it's coming, and we're looking to get that job done on Saturday.
And hopefully West Brom, the kind of team that not they're going to go crazy, but they'll still sit in a little bit. It's just those sides that just come and say, right, break us down, sit in the low block and look to try and hit you on the break. You've been trying to sort of change to being more of a possession-based team over the last 18 months, and is it just the progression? Is it just those little sort of couple of percent moving the ball a bit quicker, making that pass, recognising the opportunities that is the difference between being frustrated and getting the results you need?
No doubt about it, and I think that if you looked at us 18 months ago, people probably would have said we were happy in a low block, and we were breaking on teams. Now teams have said, we're not letting you do that. This is what we're going to do. So we have to find the key to unlock the door, and I think that we have enough ability. Probably, our decision making, I don't think, is being good enough in at times in what we know is our strengths. We don't have to go away from what we do. We just have to do it better. And I think that, yes, there is a little bit more pressure at home, but welcome to professional football. That's it. You want to play 46 games away from home? I don't. Do you know what I mean? So it's one of them that we should be going in a real high and looking to change that. We haven't been horrendous. We've worked hard. The one thing that you have probably seen and what we think is none of the lads have not worked hard enough. They haven't showed a willingness to go and win a game. And then I think you'd have a worry if that was the case. If you went out and people were afraid of their life and didn't want the ball. 64% possession of the ball means people want it. We had it, but we just didn't use it well enough. And I think you got a very good West Brom team coming, very experienced, a lot of good quality, and a lot of quick lads up top. That can cause you problems. So we know what's going to come, and they know what's going to be coming with us, and who does the job the best on the day. But for us, it's another test, and it's an excitement, and I'm optimistic as I always am, and I'm really looking forward to the game, and I think it's a great one for us.
Thank you very much.
To continue the home thing.
Yeah.
How much kind of do you make it a thing to try and address it, but at the same time you don't want to make it a thing because then you start getting in people's heads?
Yes. I don't think we can. It's 46 games in the Championship, and I think that people will read things into it, and there's no doubt that it would get, if you go 10, 12, 14 games, then there's a bit of tension, isn't it? Because they're all points that you've dropped at home, and that should be your fortress. But say you get a point at home and 3 away, or you get 3 at home and 1 away. Is that a good week or a bad week? What's a good week? So it's about the points and the points we can get. So if we go away from home and get a point and win and get 3, at home on the Saturday, you'd say 4 points, great, it's a great week. You get a point at home and you get 3 away, you go, struggling at home, lucky the away form is going okay. So for us, it's about getting as many points as we can. We can't make it a big thing because we are going to be playing at home. It's it's for us, it's a test, and I think the lads are good enough. They're desperate to do well. You know, they have expectations of themselves that I think they're probably as disappointed as any fans. And if you know the lads, they're a really good group we've got, good and they're conscientious. So we can never question the work rate. We can never question the willingness. What we have questioned is the decision making when we get into those positions, where we have been clinical and other days we haven't been at home as much as we'd want to be. So that's something that we have to work at. But again, you know, we know that nobody wakes up and says on Saturday morning, and I always say this, and says, I'll tell you what, it's the last pass, you know, we've had 47 passes, and on this pass, I'll tell you what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit their defender. It'd be great. They don't do, you know, they're trying, you know, it's the decision, is it rushed, is it not? So we don't have a go at the guys, we're very open with Norwich, as you know, a very transparent coaching group, and we're not afraid to talk about the things that have to be talked about, but we know everybody's pulling in the right direction and really looking forward to making it a real statement this season. So we have to do that. We have to do that, and we've got to start that again on Saturday. Those games have gone. We can't do anything about them. What we can do, we can learn from them. And that's what we're trying to do.
How do you work on decision making? Is that like, have you always got to sort of work around it in the sense that it's a confidence thing? So you just tell, or is it something specific you can work on in training?
Well, I think, you know, without saying too much, you know, you can't literally, because it's in the heat of battle, isn't it? It's 100 mile an hour, but you know, you can do a question and answer and say, what were you thinking? What were we thinking? Why did we do that? Why did we not? Why did we say do that? We look at ourselves. You know what I mean? We don't just look at the players. What are we doing that helps that? And with all of that will come. Isn't it amazing that when you're playing with so much confidence, sometimes you don't think. You just do it. It just drops and you do it. I used to do, and I thought it was an out-of-body experience. I was thinking, that wasn't me. You know, I did that. You haven't got that. But it happens. So it's, but we have to touch it. We've got to look at clips. We've got to speak to the players. We've got to look at the sessions that we're doing, because we want to improve. We're in this game because we're professional and we want to succeed, and professionalism means that it's not just claps in the back all the time. It's a real kind of in-depth conversation of what can we do as a whole group, not just that individual. At the runs, guy gets into a good position, at the runs as good as we want them to be. If it's cleared out, we're locking the box in. Do you know what I mean? So everyone has a part to play in everything we do. So we've looked at all of the aspects, but it's not panic stations. We do that after everything. We did that after Swansea. We had a few good situations there. We 3 goals that are just offside. Do you know what I mean? So it's something again that you look at and you say, are we going into early? Are we not? Do you know what I mean? So it's an ongoing process, and we won't change or deviate. We believe in what we do.
But just going back to Jason, where you said you kind of got to calm him down. What do you sort of mean by that? Just because he's so enthusiastic about it?
Enthusiasm is wonderful, and as I said to you, we love it, and it's hence, you know, he's a technically very good player and he works very hard. But again, if you've looked at the people that we've brought into the club and what we love and what we want those energetic, desperate to play, can't get them off the training ground. You know, like the Bellies and the Tommies and Scotty who was here and Antoine, and you know, just so many players. And we've got Ephraim out there, you know, and you can't get them in, and that's what we want, and he's like that. But we have to manage him, because you know, he's done probably 24 kilometres last week running for Ireland. You know, so we have to make sure that he's not running. So we have to kind of calm him down and say, you don't need to run everywhere all the time. You know, today we're doing structure, stick to the structure, and we're fine. But I'd rather have someone that runs too much than someone that doesn't want to run. So I think it's really important that we have that.
And I guess him naturally, and also the fact he's still relatively a new player here. He's just constantly looking to kind of impress and do as much as he can. Yeah,
but I think he's that sort of player, isn't he? I think he's one of those players. I don't think he's very vociferous, you know. I think he does talk sometimes and stuff like that. But his action, he works in actions, you know, but as all the other guys do. So I think he lifts sessions like a lot of the lads do with their energy. Belly, as you know, is a quiet man, but wow, he's another that we sometimes have to calm down, you know, because he's running unbelievable. But as I said, it's sometimes probably forget what we were like at that age, because he can run and he can go again and stuff. So we have to give them a bit of leeway as well. But I think it's a big thing for us. for training sessions, because training sessions get you ready for games. You can't jog around Monday to Friday and then think you can jog around Saturday, so I think we have to play. So we have to balance that right. And we've got a really good medical team here, fitness department, and I think it's important that we're always talking.
I guess it's a shame that having played at Swansea that he's not able to play this Taylor,
yes.
Given you kind of want to build his match fitness up as well. But George coming back in, I just wondered. Sorry, I seem to always ask you about fullbacks whenever you do. But how have you kind of felt George's season has gone?
George's season has been fine. I just think he's with Ross out. Ross can play in that position, and I think George has had to kind of do everything, hasn't he? He's got to play, and Taylor comes in and again gives us a couple of options in different positions, which is comfortable to play in. And yes, it's disappointing for him, but it's something that we knew was going to happen. And that's life. That's what it is. What we're doing is we're happy to have him here, and he's happy to be here. So it gives us weeks, months, years to work with him. So, missing this game is fine. Are we worried about George? No, not at all. Do you know what I mean? So George has another opportunity to come in and play well and build on his season, and he's still learning. He's still getting better. So for us, it's fine. We look forward to getting Taylor back in. We would have liked to have him in the squad, and I think he probably would have liked to play against do we call it his parent club at the moment because it's a loan or whatever. Yeah. But I just think he hasn't got that opportunity. But he gets ready. We've got lots more games to come.